Guys, child's pose. Sitting back onto your heels, maybe knees wider, toes together. Maybe reach the arms to the front and take a few deep breaths. I'm going to start moving straight away by reaching the right fingertips towards the front while I'm dropping the right armpit closer, and then the left straight away. You're trying to stretch the shoulders out of the sockets, rocking side to side, lengthening one side, other side of the shoulders. I'm also feeling the groin opening because I'm sitting the hips back to the heels. I'm taking a couple more breaths here. Keep reaching the hands to the front. Start lifting your chest. I'm going to bring my knees about hip distance. Come through a rounded back, a cat. And then find a neutral back, neutral spine, strong stomach. Sink through a chaturanga. I'm still on my knees. Give me a mini cobra here. Take a big inhale. Exhale, bring it back onto the mat. Push up and sit back into child's pose. Let's start again. The same movement. Round the back. Draw belly button in. Then find neutral spine. I'm still on the knees. Elbows pointing to the back and sink through a press up position. Once you're on the mat, lift head and shoulders into mini cobra. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back onto the mat. Tug the tailbone, sit back into child's pose. Take a stretch. Let's do that one more time. Slow movement, going through the rounded back. Finding neutral spine, shoulders away from the ears, elbows pointing to the back. Sink through a press up position. Give me one mini cobra once you're there. Lift head and shoulders. Bring it back onto the mat. Tug the tailbone, sit through child's pose. And let's find your first downward dog, tucking the toes and pushing your bum up. Bending one knee, pressing other heel to the mat. Changing sides. Keep alternating while you're dropping your armpits, your chest towards the mat. Loosen your neck as well. Make sure there is no tension in the front of your neck, back of your neck. Maybe turn your head side to side. Walk the feet to the front of the mat. I'm taking tiny steps. See if you can keep your heels flat on the mat to lengthen the back of your legs, hamstrings and calves. Feet hip distance once you're in the front of the mat. Halfway lift. I've got hands on the shins. Long back inhale and exhale, fold. I'm going to do that twice more just to loosen the back. Feel free to lift high to lengthen through the back on your inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, still bending the knees, gentle stretching the hamstrings. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Around your back again and straight away restack to bring yourselves into a standing position. Roll your shoulders out on the very top and sweep up into standing cobra. Squeeze the glutes. Take a big inhale, maybe a slight back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Sandwich your feet together. Roll your shoulders back. Release the arms by your sides and sit into a chair pose. I've got feet together, touching big toes. Inhale, sit back. Sweep the arms to the front. Or arms by your ears and hold. Releasing shoulders away from the ears. Bit more squeeze between the knees to work the inner thighs. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, fold. Taking your time here. Again, a gentle stretch on the thighs. Feeling the back of your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Make your way into a high plank, hands flat, step or hop, feet hip distance once you're there. Hold your shoulders above the wrists, spread the fingertips. I'm going to circle into the wrists in a high plank. Feel free to drop the knees under your shoulders. Otherwise, start taking your shoulders all the way around to the front one way and the other way. Try not to hang your hips. Keep your hips shoulder level or maybe slightly higher, just to make sure you're not hurting your back and you feel the stomach muscles working. I'm taking one more circle each way. And then once you're back to center, first chaturanga, if you want to keep the knees off, I'm dropping the knees. On your next exhale, sink through a half press up. Press the top of the feet onto the mat, lift up into cobra. Maybe a full, maybe a mini, maybe an upward dog. Find your way into downward dog. I'm sitting through child's pose. And find downward dog in your own time. Take another breath. Take a little stretch in the shoulders. Lift the right heel behind you into three-legged dog. Keep the hips squared just for a split second. Squeeze the glutes. And then start stacking and opening. Keep the right knee straight for now. Lift your right heel as high as you can. Let the right hip stack on top of the left while your left elbow stays straight. And then pull the right heel to your bum by bending the knee. Let's hold it for one more breath. Both arms straight, left knee pointing to the front of the mat. Inhale, level the hips, maybe straighten the right knee. Exhale, bring the right knee to your nose. Give it a little tap. Make sure your shoulders are above the wrists. Keep your shoulders above the wrists, but push the right leg back into a three-legged plank position. Take a big inhale. Exhale, bring the right knee back to your nose. Do that one more time. Inhale, push the leg back. Squeeze the right glute as you straighten the right leg. Exhale, bring the right knee to your nose. And then come onto the right fingertips and step through between the thumbs into runner's lunge. I'm coming onto the fingertips. Right knees above the right ankle, lifting the chest. Straightening left knee while I'm bending the front knee. Drop the left knee onto the mat. And sweep up into crescent moon. Arms are reaching up, straightening up, lengthening up towards the ceiling. Take a big inhale. See if there is a slight back bend from the top of your back on your exhale. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart and press the heels of your hands together. Twist to your right. And press the left elbow into the outside of your right knee. Take a breath here to lengthen the back, to bend the front knee, to feel the straight line between the two elbows. Bend your right knee slightly more because you can. Straighten the left knee. Take the left knee off the mat. Keep twisting your spine. See if you can straighten your elbows. It might not be there. You can always come back here later. Left fingertips pointing towards the mat. Right fingertips towards the sky. Try your best to keep the left elbow on the outside of the right knee. We are going to cartwheel all the way around into warrior two. Right hand cartwheels to the back, left hand to the front. As you come up, left heel flat. And bring the arms into T. Find warrior two. Bend your right knee in the front. Make sure it's pointing to the front, shoulders back. And bring your shoulders back above the hips. Bend your right knee slightly deeper. Shoulders back. With your next inhale, straighten up and sit into a side lunge onto the left heel. I'm turning the feet slowly, hands to heart center. And I'm sitting onto the back of the mat, onto the left heel, taking your time. Make sure you turn your shoulders and your chest out to the side of the mat. If you stay with me, I've got left elbow on the left knee, maybe right fingertips on the mat, or sit all the way down, some of you can. But lift the chest wherever you are. Make sure your right knee is straight, so you feel the inner thigh stretch. I'm sitting on the left heel, and the right knee straight. Thank you, Caroline. Wide-legged forward fold, hands on the mat, push the bum up, both feet are parallel to each other and the long short sides of your mat. Lengthen your back with an inhale and exhale, fold towards the mat. We won't be here for long, but it gives your thighs a bit of a break. Walk the hands to the front of the mat and sit down into another side lunge. I'm turning the right toes out slightly and walking the hands towards the right foot. Sit down into another side lunge, same as the other side. See where you want to be. See how far you want to sit. I preferably keep the right heel flat, but if it comes up, it comes up. Wherever you are, lengthen the back, straight back. Come up higher if you need to. Use those spinal extensors to strengthen them. That's good. Hold it for one more breath. And turn to the front into runner's lunge. Flip the hips over and frame the right foot with your fingertips. Make sure your hips, shoulders are looking to the front. Left hand flat. Right arm up into an easy twist. Stack your shoulders. Reach the right fingertips up. Bend the right knee slightly more and straighten the left knee even more. Feel the twist in the back. Let's do your first side plank. Feel free to drop the left knee onto the mat for star pose and pivot, or left heel over if you're coming with me. Push the right foot to the back. I'm hovering the right foot, but you can always pop the right foot in front of the left. Lift shoulders and hips high, draw belly button in. See if you want to have a slight back bend, but first I'm bending the right knee and popping the right foot behind me. And you might just want to stay here, that supports you. Or maybe turn the hips and shoulders up, reach right fingertips towards the front of the mat for wild thing. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, high plank. And let's meet in three-legged dog. From high plank, I'm pushing the bum up and I'm sweeping the right heel behind me into another three-legged dog again. Take a big inhale as you lift. Exhale, bring the right knee to your nose one more time. Give it a tap and step through between the thumbs for another runner's lunge. Come onto the fingertips again. We're going to have a low hamstring stretch. I'm dropping the left knee onto the mat and sitting back into a half split. You might want fingertips closer to the left knee. As you're straightening the front knee, turning the right toes up, sending the right hip to the back, start feeling the back of your right leg. Lengthen the spine. Fold. Start feeling that stretch in the right hamstring. Is it still a gentle one? We are not rushing it. Take one more breath. Bend your front knee. Frame the front leg. Lift the back knee off. Look to the front. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, step the left foot to the front and sandwich the feet together. Inhale, halfway lift, long back. And exhale, fold. Stretching hamstrings gently. Let's start the other side. Chair pose. Squeeze the knees together. Make sure your feet are touching. Sweep the arms up, lift the chest until your back is straight. Squeezing knees, working inner thighs, slight tuck in the pelvis if you feel anything funny in the back. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, high plank. You might want to make your way through a chaturanga straight away, or stay with me. I'm stepping back, I'm dropping the knees, I'm sinking through chaturanga, half press up. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. See how far you want to lift the chest. And exhale, find downward dog if you're coming with me. I'm sitting through child's pose. And finding downward dog, take one more breath. Take a stretch in the shoulders. Lift the left heel into a three-legged dog. Keep the hips squared just for a split second to feel the left glute working, right arm straight. And then start lifting the left heel high and keep the left knee straight as long as you can. Start opening the hip out to the left. When you can't lift it any higher, bring the heel to your bum. Right arm straight. Let this chest fold through to feel the shoulders stretching. Right knee pointing to the front of the mat. On your next inhale, level your hips, maybe straighten the left knee. As you exhale, shift your weight forward into plank position and bring the left knee to your nose. Make the connection. Keep your shoulders above the wrists. Push the left foot to the back, see if you can hover it. Take a big inhale as you squeeze the left glute, left knee straight. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose again. One more time, inhale, keep the shoulders above the wrists. Keep the shoulders above the wrists. Exhale, bring the left knee to your nose. Give it another little squeeze. Come onto the left fingertips and step through between the thumbs, finding runner's lunge. Come onto the fingertips. Lift the chest. Keep bending the front knee. Bring the right hand flat again and left arm up for an easy twist. Take your time to stack the shoulders. Straightening the right knee, bending left knee in the front, and opening the chest out to the left side of the mat. Bring the left hand onto the mat and drop the right knee onto the mat. Sweep up into crescent moon. Take a big inhale. Slide back bend as you exhale. Straighten up, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center and twist to your left. Make sure you're pressing the heels of the hands together as you drop. Well, lean forward and press the right elbow into the outside of your left knee. Take your time, long spine. Straight line between the two elbows. Pressing into the elbow, pressing into the knee. See if you want to straighten your elbows, right fingertips pointing towards the mat. Left fingertips to the sky. Lift the back knee off. And we're going to cartwheel all the way to the back into warrior two. Left hand to the back, right hand to the front. Cartwheel around, right heel flat, and stop the arms in a T. Bend the left knee and make sure you point it to the front while you point the right foot out to the side of the mat. Bring the shoulders above the hips, bend the front knee. Release the shoulders away from the ears. On your next inhale, straighten the front knee and sit onto your right heel into a side lunge. So you're sitting onto the back of the mat. Take your time, see how far you want to sit it. It's already the second one on that side. So you might be able to sit lower. Make sure your left knee is straight and you're pressing the right elbow onto the inside of the right knee to push it out. And again, long back, wherever you are, lengthen the back. Wide-legged forward fold, hands on the mat, bum up high, turn the feet parallel. Forward towards the mat. Take a stretch, take a breath. Tailbone up, slide, bending the knees. Walk the hands to the left foot and sit into a side lunge on the left side. I'm turning left toes out. And again, take your time to sit slightly lower. Take your time to lift the chest, to straighten your back. Make sure your right knee is straight. Frame the left foot with your fingertips, turn the hips over, runner's lunge. Right hand flat, left arm up, easy twist. Stack the shoulders. And there is your side plank, good time to drop the right knee and pivot on it. Or right heel over, push the left foot to the back. Hovering the left foot if you can, maybe lift it hip level. Now lift the hips, shoulders higher, stack. Feel the strength in the core. And the wild thing is coming, bending left knee, popping left foot behind me. Stay here, you're supported here. We'll lift the chest, turn the shoulders up to the sky and turn left fingertips towards the front of the mat. Turn into high plank and meet me in three-legged dog. Push the bum up and sweep the left heel behind you. Take a big inhale. Straight away, bring the left knee to your nose one more time. Give it a little tap and step through. Drop the right knee, half split. Let's start straightening the left knee and turn the left toes up. Give your hamstrings a little stretch. See if you want the fingertips closer to your right knee. Lengthen through the back and send the left hip behind you to isolate the right hamstrings and fall towards the thigh. Take a breath here. Bend the front knee and find runner's lunge. I'm on the fingertips, lifting back knee off. Look to the front, take a big inhale. Step the feet together in the front of the mat and fold straight away to stretch the hamstrings. Come into a standing position slowly. Bend your knees, round your back, restack the vertebra. As soon as you're on the top, take a big inhale as you sweep up, and we are doing one sun salutation, but staying in downward dog. Exhale, fold. Take your time, no rush. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, make your way through chaturanga. You can leave it out. If you're coming with me, I'm just stepping back, dropping the knees, sinking through a half press up. Inhale into cobra or upward dog. Find yourself in downward dog. I'm going through child's pose. You can leave it all out and find downward dog, hold it. Let's meet here and take a breath. Dolphin, feel free to drop the knees or see if you can drop both elbows, maybe at the same time, maybe one by one. Elbows no wider than your shoulders, and then push your bum up and push your sternum, your chest towards the ankles. Now think about pressing yourself away from the mat by pressing into the elbows. So you lift your bum higher. You can keep the heels off the mat. You can bend your knees. Feel the stretch in the shoulders. Find downward dog again. Again, you can drop your knees or lift both elbows off, maybe one by one. And then push your sternum through to find the shoulder stretching. Drop your knees. I'm sitting on my toes, on my heels to stretch the toes. So I'm tucking the toes on the knees hip distance. You might not like that, so anytime you want to release it, please feel free. Lift the chest, shoulders back. Try and bring the ankles inwards towards the midline. Shoulders back, bit of distraction here. I'm stretching the back of the shoulders. I'm going to hug right arm on top of the left, dropping the chin to chest, and make sure it's a tight hug. You should feel the back of your shoulders in between your shoulder blades. Stay here or see if you've got an eagle pose by straightening up and starting to tangle the forearms together. Meet the left fingertips with the right palm. And then maybe lift elbows and hands and give it a slight back bend. It's all about stretching the back of your shoulders wherever that is for you. That is good. Lovely, release it off. We do the other side, and I'm so sorry we did that last time. Yesterday, if you were in the class. Left arm on top of the right, but I promise I won't be here for too long. Hug tightly. And see if you want the eagle. I promise we won't be too long. Tangling the forearms, the right fingertips meet the left arm if it's there. Make sure you release the shoulders away from the ears and start lifting the hands, the elbows, maybe a slight back bend. Make sure you can feel the back of your shoulders. And then release it off. Opening the chest, and finally we are releasing the toes. I'm putting the hands onto the mat, untucking the toes. You have the option to just lay your feet flat and maybe bringing the fingertips towards the back of the mat and lift the knees off, maybe one by one. If you like to stretch the top of your feet from a downward dog, I'm reaching to the front, finding downward dog slowly. And then once I'm there, I'm flipping one foot over to stretch the top of the foot very carefully, maybe holding it for a couple of breaths, and maybe the other foot. Choose a stretch that feels nice. And take your time. And then once you've done that, drop the knees onto the mat and lie down on your front. We do a bit of back extension. The feet are a little bit wider than your mat. Press the top of the feet onto the mat. Bring your arms out into a cactus. Lengthen the tailbone to the back of the mat by tucking your pelvis and squeezing the glutes. Lift head and shoulders and lift the arms as well. Cactus, take a big inhale. As you exhale, circle the arms around by your sides. Maybe tap the outsides of your thighs with your little fingers so the palms are pointing to the mat. Bring the arms back into cactus and bring everything onto the mat. Go again, lift head and shoulders, elbows, hands. Circle them around, touch the little fingers to the outsides of your thighs. Bring the arms back to cactus and all the way onto the mat. Make sure you're keeping the back of your neck long. Few more repetitions here. Shoulders stay away from the ears and you keep pressing the top of the feet onto the mat. Breathe. Feel the upper back muscles. The muscles behind your, in the back of your shoulders. Work with your breath. Feel the length in your neck. Make sure you're pointing the crown of your head towards the front. This is my last one. I'm lifting, circling the arms around. See if you can circle the fingertips all the way by reaching to the front of the room. Very careful on your back. Press the feet onto the mat. Hold it. Bring the arms into a cactus. And all the way onto the mat, stack your hands underneath your forehead. Push your hips side to side a few times. Make sure your feet are still wide. Then squeeze your glutes. Roll your shoulders away from the ears and lift both legs off. Feet are still wide. Hold them in the air. Lengthen the tailbone to the back of the room. Feel free to turn your kneecaps out slightly, it might help. Make sure your knees are straight, as you have the option to stay here, and please be careful with your back. Try and draw the belly button away from the mat. Try and take the tension out of your upper back. See if you can bring your heels together. You might feel that the inner thighs are touching, and hold. Leave the feet slightly higher, whether you're touching the heels or not. Tuck your pelvis, draw the belly button away from the mat, and see if you can lift your head and shoulders and the arms up into cactus position one more time. See if you want to circle the arms all the way to the back, reaching fingertips towards the back, and there's your full locust. Hold it for 3, lengthen the tailbone to the back of the mat. There shouldn't be any lower back pain. Hold it for 2, and hold it for 1. Bring the arms into cactus, bring the feet wide, and everything onto the mat. Relax. Bend your knees, push the feet side to side. Bring your feet hip distance, sit back into child's pose, hands under your shoulders, take your time. Tuck your forehead between your knees. Give your back a bit of a stretch, relax your arms by your sides. Reach to the front and find downward dog again. Take a couple of breaths to stretch. Make your way to the front of the mat. Sandwich the feet together. Big toes touching. Inhale, halfway lift once you're there. Exhale, fold. Come up with a rounded back, restacking the vertebra one by one. Sweep the arms up, take a big inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center and release the arms by your sides. We're starting from your chair pose again, checking that your feet are together, your shoulders are back. On your next inhale, sit into chair pose. Squeeze the knees together to work the inner thighs. Reach the arms. On your next exhale, bring the hands to the heart center and twist to your right, pressing the left elbow into the outside of your right knee. Create the straight line between the elbows and lengthen through your back. I'm looking down at the mat for balance. Pull the left heel into your bum. Balancing on your right foot. Start floating the left foot to the back. See if you can hold that balance, maybe straightening the left knee in the back. And step the left foot onto the mat slowly. Take a long step, so you find your right knee above the right ankle. Keep twisting, look to your right again. Left knee straight. See if you want to straighten your elbows. Left elbow towards the mat, right elbow towards the sky. Take one more breath here. And find warrior two. Cartwheel the right hand to the back, left to the front. Left heel flat and find your arms in a T, bending the right knee in the front. Take one more breath to sink into the front knee. Half moon pose. Reach the right arm to the front and float into balance, lifting the left foot. And then once you found your balance, lift the left heel slightly higher than your hip. Make sure you're reaching the right fingertips towards the front. Maybe a little bit to the right. Stack shoulders. Flex the left foot out to the left side of the mat. See if you want to hover it by bending the right knee and bringing the right fingertips towards the ear. Stay low if you can. Take one more breath here. And end up in a side lunge in the back of your mat. Bend the right knee. Take a long step to the back of the mat. If you can, stay low and make your way onto the left heel into a side lunge. Taking your time to sit lower, you're warm. Take another breath, lengthen through the back. Keep pushing the left elbow into the inside of the left knee, lengthening the spine. And there is your break coming, wide-legged forward fold, but it's just for a breath. Hands down, bum up. Turn the feet parallel, one fold towards the mat. And then straight away, bring it back to the front of the mat into a side lunge onto the right heel. Turning right toes out slightly, lifting the chest. Lengthening the back. I'm sitting on the right heel. I'm sitting on the right heel in a side lunge. Runner's lunge on the front. Frame the right foot. Side plank. I'm going to put the left hand flat, right arm up for an easy twist first. Left heel over or drop the left knee and push the right foot to the back, hovering it. Find your side plank. There is your wild thing if you want. Right foot behind you. And open your chest, your shoulders up and lift the hips higher. Reaching right fingertips towards the front of the mat. Let's meet in three-legged dog. Right hand on the mat. Sweep the right heel high. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, bring the right knee to your nose. Give it a tap and step through between the thumbs. Runner's lunge. Guys, you have the option to do another half split just like before. Or let's do a standing split. If you can, frame the feet, the front foot with the fingertips. If you want to make it easier, reach the fingertips towards the front. Let's lift the left heel behind you. Shift the weight into the right foot and start lifting the left heel. And then fold. Drop the head and shoulders towards the thigh. Lift the left heel higher. Use your left glute to lift the left leg high. You might be able to grab the back of your right thigh with your right leg. Sorry, with your right hand. And then pull gently, lift the left heel higher. As you have the option to do a little pistol squat here. So I'm going to bring the left knee into the chest. I'm using the fingertips to push the left leg through. Sit down, I'm supporting myself, and I'm going back to meet you in a standing split. I'm using the fingertips, totally cheating. And then sweep the left heel up. I'm going to take another breath here. So have another go if you want, but I'm only doing one. Nice. And then step the feet together in the front of the mat. Finally, sandwich the feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And guys, you're ready for the other side. Squeeze the knees and feet. Sweep up into chair pose. Take a big inhale, long back. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart and twist to your left. Press the right elbow into the left knee. Create the straight line between the two elbows. Press into the knee and lengthen through the back. Find a balance, look at the mat, and bring the right heel into your bum. Start pushing the right foot to the back and hold that balance for maybe 2 breaths. Try and straighten the right leg in the back. And finally land the right foot in the back. Keep twisting to your left. Make sure your left knee is above the left ankle. So lengthen the stance if you need to. See if you want to straighten your elbows. Right fingertips towards the mat, left fingertips towards the sky. Warrior 2, cartwheel around. Right heel flat on the mat. Bring the arms into a T and point the left knee towards the front. Sink into the left knee one more time. I know it's burning. And half moon pose. Reach the left fingertips and land them in the front somewhere. Lift the right foot. Flex the right foot out to the side. Stack shoulders, hips. Make sure your right heel is slightly higher than your hip. Draw the belly button in. See if you want to hover it. I'm bending left knee to protect the hamstrings. Bringing left fingertips around the ear. Still pointing the right hand up if you can. Lots of work in my hamstrings and the left glute. Meet me in a side lunge in the back of your mat on your right heel. Bend the left knee. Step the right foot to the back and slowly, without falling over, make your way onto your right heel into a side lunge. Take your time. Again, you're warm. You've done plenty now. See if you can sit lower. See if you can lift your chest higher. One more breath and there is your break coming. Wide-legged forward, hands flat, bum up, feet parallel. And then forward just for a breath. It's just a break, really. And then sit onto the left heel into a side lunge. Turn the left foot out slightly. And sit down. Take your time. Take your time. Find the mobility. Find the stretch. Lift the chest. Strong back muscles. Beautiful. So nice. Finally, frame the left foot. Turn the hips over. There is your side plank coming, but I'm putting right hand flat first, left arm off for easy twist, and now you know where you're going. You can drop the right knee or flick the right heel over. Push the left foot to the back to find the side plank. I'm hovering the left foot. And there is your wild thing, left foot behind you. Stay here for stability. We'll lift the chest. Open the hips up. Reach left fingertips towards the front of the mat and hold for one more breath. Meet me in three-legged dog. Left hand on the mat. Sweep the left heel up nice and high. Take a big inhale. Exhale, bring the left knee to your nose. Give it a little tap and step through to find runner's lunge. Option 1, to drop the right knee and find a side half split. Or see if you can shift your weight into the left foot. Standing split, lifting right heel and folding the chest towards the thigh. If you really want to challenge it, frame the left foot with the fingertips. Use your right glute to lift the right heel high. Maybe use the left hand to pull yourself closer to the thigh and feel the left hamstrings working. And there is your chance to do a little pistol squat, totally cheating myself. I'm bending the left knee, pulling the right knee into the chest, pushing the right leg through. See if you can sit yourself down. It might not be all the way down, but that's okay. And I'm going to meet you in a standing split, pulling the right leg through, lifting the right heel high. And I'm just going to hold it for one more breath in case you haven't finished yet, but you still want to have a go with it. Step the right foot onto the mat. Step them together. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Round your back and come up slowly. Bend your knees. Roll your shoulders out, upward feet hip distance, upward to sun salutation to meet you in downward dog. Take a big inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga, or if you're coming with me, I'm taking my time. You can always leave out the press up position. Inhale, cobra upward dog. And exhale, find your way into downward dog. I'm going through child's pose. You can leave it out. Take a breath. And let's take a dolphin if it's there, dropping both elbows onto the mat, no wider than your shoulders. Push your bum up, chest towards the thighs, pushing into the elbows to feel the stretch in the front of your shoulders. Actually, I feel it quite deep inside the shoulder joint. Try your best not to have the elbows wider than your shoulders, which I find really hard. And keep pushing into the elbows. So you're trying to push yourself away from the mat. Try and relax your neck here. Find your downward dog. Drop the knees onto the mat first if you need to. Find one more stretch in the shoulders. And guys, meet me on your front. Come forward through a high plank position and meet me on the front. You've got the option here to do a little quad stretch, or you can take it into a bow pose if you want. I'm starting with quad stretch. I'm reaching right arm back, grabbing right ankle, pressing knees together. Flexing the right foot if you can, so you're grabbing the ankle rather than the foot. See if you want to reach the left arm back as well. Otherwise, stay with one quad. Press knees together and lengthen tailbone to the back of the mat. For now, I'm just staying with the stretch. Make sure you change sides here. I'm just going to hold both together. Feet, knees are pressing together and the hips are pushing into the mat. And I'm going to relax and stack the hands underneath the forehead. I'm going to go through locust. I'm really going to challenge it. Locust into bow, bow into locust, and then relax. You have the option to stay with locust, or maybe turn it into a quad stretch if you want. One more time each way, possibly. I'm sweeping the arms around, fingertips pointing to the back, lifting head and shoulders, rolling shoulder blades together. Straight arms, squeezing the glutes to avoid any back pain, straightening the knees and lifting up into full locust. I'm lengthening the lower back. The lift is happening from the upper back, squeezing the glutes. And now you can go for your quad stretch if you want. If you can, stay up in locust, flex the feet and bend the knees. I'm still hovering the knees off, grabbing the ankles, pulling the knees a little bit closer, clenching the bum cheeks, squeezing shoulder blades and pushing the feet into the hands And that's going to take care of the lift rather than straining your back. And hold for 3, for 2, and for 1 more. I'm going through locust again. Please be careful here. Make sure you draw your belly button away from the mat. Start straightening the legs, still hovering them. Squeeze the glutes again. Lift slightly higher one more time. Taking a big inhale. And exhale, bring it onto the mat. Stack your hands under your forehead. Bend your knees, push your feet side to side. Sit into child's pose, feet hip distance, hands under your shoulders. Take a little stretch in your back. And guys, you can stay here, just pretend I can't see you at all. Your camera is off probably. No, it's not, I can see you, but you don't have to do it. I'm dropping the elbows for 1 more plank. I'm going to touch the fingertips together, tucking pelvis, and I'm stepping the legs back one by one to find a plank position. Shoulders away from the ears and lengthen the upper back. Draw the belly button in. I've got feet hip distance. Anytime you want to drop the knees under the knee line, that is absolutely fine. If you're coming with me, see if you can squeeze your heels and toes together. Glue the elbows to the mat and flick both heels over to your left. Lift the right hip bone closer to the mat, towards the ceiling. Careful with your feet, but flick back to center. Make sure your feet are staying together as you're flicking the heels over to your right. Lift the left hip bone closer to the ceiling. Feel your obliques working. Coming through center, careful with your feet. Flick them to your left again. So I'm stacking the right foot on top of the left. Long shoulders. Come back to center. Flick them to your right. I'm stacking left foot on top of the right. Lift the hips higher. Come back to center. Hold your plank. I'm going to put my feet wider than the hips. Oh, sorry, hip distance. Lengthening through the upper back. Drawing belly button in and hold it for 5. Hold it for 4. And for 3. And for 2. And for 1, drop the knees. Sit back into child's pose. Relax the head, arms by your sides. And guys, feel free to stay here, but I'm going to sit up again and I'm going to do 1 more stretching my shoulders by interlacing the fingers in the back and opening the heart up because I'm really feeling the front of my shoulders. Make sure your neck is long. Make sure you're not hurting your back while you're doing that. If you want to come up on your knees instead because your knees don't like to sit back into a child's pose, that's absolutely fine. Lovely, relax. Meet me on your bum in a wide-legged forward fold. It is 1:59 now. We've got 2 side bends and 1 forward fold. Once you've set in a wide-legged position, make sure you lengthen through the back. Let's do a little stretch in the front, in between the 2 thighs. If you're with me, fingertips behind you. Lift the chest and think about tilting the pelvis so the belly button is going towards the mat. And that's enough. Otherwise, walk the hands forward if you get more stretch out of it. Make sure you can feel the inner thigh stretching. This one won't be long. You just want to open your inner thighs for a sec. Lovely. Walk back up slowly. We'll come back here. I promise we'll come back here. Walk back up slowly. I'm going to mirror you. Don't be confused. Bend your left knee, your left knee, your left knee. Heel into your bum. Grab your left ankle with your right hand with the opposite hand. Ankle, or you might want the elbow on the inside of the knee. And then turn your left shoulder up, reach the left arm up, take a big inhale. And start reaching left fingertips towards your right leg, your straight right leg. Drop your left knee towards the mat, and you should feel the stretch down the left side of your core. Turn the left armpit up to the sky and keep reaching left fingertips while you're sending your left knee towards the mat. On your exhalation, feel the space growing between the last rib cage and your hip on the left side. Circle the left hand onto the mat and help with the left hand to sit you back up. It's an intense stretch. We are doing the other side. It is 151 now. Bending your right knee, bringing the left hand across onto the ankle, or maybe just press the elbow into the knee. Find any position for that left hand. Reach the right arm up, lengthen up first while you're sending the right knee towards the mat and lean over. Once you found the stretch, turn the right armpit up to the sky. Send the right knee towards the mat to feel the lengthening in the left obliques. I'm actually feeling it in the left side of the core, lower back. Circle the right hand onto the mat first and then help with those fingertips to sit you back up. We've got one more wide-legged forward fold. It is 152. So I'm straightening both legs. Try and take it a little bit further. Move around a little bit if you need to take a big inhale and either push behind you again, focusing on the belly button going down, or walk forward. You've got 5 long breaths. Walk the hands back, sit up slowly, put the hands behind you, lean back, give your legs a shake, and then reach under your knees one by one. Bring them in, close the ankles, and hug everything in. Let's go into your back. One more glute stretch, one more spinal twist. Take your time. You can always go fast, just end up on your back. Once you're there, starting with the right glute, I'm pulling left heel into the bum. Right foot is flexing, right heel across the left thigh. You can always push the right knee away from you, or reach for the back of your left thigh and find a glute stretch. Make sure you're feeling it in the right side of your hip. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Use your exhalation to pull the left thigh closer to you, or to increase your right glute, the stretch in your right glute slightly. Release the glute stretch on that side. And let's change sides. Right foot flat for me first. I'm flexing the left foot across. And then find the same glute stretch on the other side. Make sure you can feel it in the left glute outside of your left hip. Release the glute stretch there. And let's do a spinal twist, taking long breaths. I've got left leg long, sending the hips over to my right slightly, right into the chest. Bring it across to your left. I'm helping with the left hand. Turn your head over your right shoulder and keep your shoulder blades flat. Settle into the stretch, making sure you can feel it in the lower back and the outsides of your hip, the right hip. Close your eyes and take a few deep, long breaths. Slowly bring it through the center, taking your time, no sudden movements. And let's change sides. I'm pushing the hips across to my left slightly before pulling the left knee in, sending right leg long. Send the knee across once you've pulled it into your chest, turning your head over to your left. Keeping shoulder blades flat if you can. Slowly coming back through the center. See if you want one more long stretch. Long arms, long legs. Find yourself on your side. Slowly roll over, whichever side you want. Then with the help of your hands, bring yourselves into a seated position slowly. Any seated position that suits your hips, knees, back, ankles. And let's finish it with your neck. Stretch your shoulders back away from the ears. Drop the right ear to the right shoulder to stretch the left side of your neck and hold it there. Change sides. Drop the chin to the chest and then circle all the way around. Take your time. Keep breathing. Change direction. Lift your gaze once you've done that. Sweep the arms up, take a big inhale to finish it off. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.